There's a king called Narmer, and he is the first unifier of Upper and Lower Egypt. So I can't remember which he had sort of come from, but anyway, he defeats the other guy and becomes king of both Upper and Lower. So forevermore, there's an Egyptian name that all pharaohs have, which means the Lord of Two Lands,
Right.
which is sort of referencing the fact that Narmer had unified them. But there's an amazing thing called the Narmer palette, which is a double-sided sort of stone etching. And on one side you have Narmer himself holding high kind of club, and with his other hand he's holding the hair. It's pretty gangster. He's holding the hair of the king that he defeated, and the implication is very much that the club is coming down, and that's the end of him. And then on the other side of it you have images of him in both the traditional headdress of Upper Egypt, which I believe is the sort of bulbous, the famous kind of image that you'll see in the hieroglyphics, the sort of bulbous hat is the sort of traditional headdress of, I think, Upper. And then there's one that kind of dips and has a sort of funny antennae thing kind of coming out of it that swells at the end. And I believe that's the traditional of Lower. It has images of him in both, which is, again, symbolic of the fact that he is the unifier of both. So basically to his successor, a guy called Hor-Aha. So he basically, as a way to prevent this civil war from breaking out again, Hor-Aha establishes a capital at Memphis, not where Elvis Presley was born, different Memphis. But this Memphis being the town right at the edge of the delta as the river's coming down. Just as it begins, that Memphis is placed right there because it's considered to be a very strategic location indeed, to keep an eye on Lower Egypt and make sure they're not gearing up to attempt a coup at any point. So it's a sort of glorified watchtower, basically, is Memphis when it's established. So you mentioned the Levant earlier. Next down the line we have Djer, the pharaoh Djer. He expands trade into the Levant, solidifies the kind of bureaucratic structure, the administrative structure of the state. It's all about taxes. So if anybody is confirming the saying, two things in life are certain, death and taxes, it's the Egyptians, because they are madly obsessed with both. And they have a pretty comprehensive, pretty impressive kind of civil service that takes care of tax. And of course, tax is all paid in grain at this point because there's no monetary currency. It's all grain. Grain is the currency. So this is what's called the early dynastic period. And this is, I should say, from Narmer down to Djer and a couple beyond. This is what's called the early dynastic period. So this is dynasties 1 and 2, basically. So over the 3,500 years, you have 31 dynasties, which is pretty extraordinary. Not 31 kings, not 31 pharaohs, 31 dynasties of kings, which again just gives you a kind of sense of the extraordinary scale. So anyway, this is dynasties. Yeah, dynasties 1 and 2 cover 1100 to 2000, roughly 2700 BC. There's others in between, but I've given you the primary guys in that sphere. So the Old Kingdom is what's known as the age of the pyramid builders, because as we'll get to, it's where we have famous ones at Giza, but we have some before as well. It's really the phase in which the Egyptians both affect the system of pyramid making and also fall out of love with it too. So the Old Kingdom is kind of the rise and fall of the pyramid, if you like. By the end of the Old Kingdom, they've moved on. They're not terribly interested anymore. Yeah, I think they suffered a bit from their own success in that they thought, well, okay, we've done it now. Where else is there to go?
I built 3 of these things already, and I don't want to do another.
Yeah, exactly. There's only so much. Yeah, there's only so many pyramids you can build before you
I want to start building temples and stuff. I don't want to make more pyramids.
Yeah, exactly.